Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Miss Chesney.
So here we are back again, and today, guess what? We are going to continue with our focus skill, cause and effect. But this time, we are going to be reading our next story. And who could tell me what our next story is about? We got some anxious feeling. Okay, yes, sir. Kevon.
It's about frog and toad.
Frog and toad. So let us all open our books, and we are going to find page 40, and we are going to find our story, frog and toad. Everybody found page 40, 40?
Yes, Miss Chesney.
All right, so we're going to wait until everybody finds the page 40. I want you to look at the picture. I want you to look at that picture. And I want you to tell me if this story is going to be a real story, if it's a fiction or a non-fiction. By the way, I'm sure that you remember what is fiction. All right, so let me ask somebody. I am going to ask Miss Tyson Dawn. Miss Tyson Dawn, what is a fiction? What is a fiction? A story that is a fiction. What is it? Is it real or not real?
A fiction is
Okay. A fiction is
fake.
fake. Can you give me another name for fake story? Something that is fake?
It's make believe.
It's make believe. Can you give me another word for make believe?
Non-fiction.
Okay. A fiction, we're not talking about non-fiction. We use the word fiction because we said the story is what? Not real. And look at it quickly. Let's look quickly and say why the story couldn't be real. Look at some things and tell me why the story couldn't be real. Yes, Miss Armstead. Oh, because the frogs got on clothes and they're in a boat. Yes, Miss.
And they're fishing and they're reading.
So the animals are fishing and reading, and right away we know that animals don't be in boat, animals don't fish, and animals don't read. So today our story, Frog and Toad All Year, we are going to be reading this story, and we are going to be looking for cause and effect in this story. And I sure you remember the story with Little Bear when Emily was lost.
Yeah.
And what happened when Emily was lost?
Yeah.
One at a time.
Little bear took her.
Yes, Mr. Philip, Little Bear took her. Oh, you wanted to say something too?
Yeah.
Yes, what you wanted to say?
Little bear helped her to get home.
Little Bear helped her to get home. So the cause, what happened first? She was lost, and what happened next?
She got found. Little bear found her and brought her home.
Little Bear took her home. Good job. So today now we are going to read Frog and Toad All Year, and this story is by an author. What's the name of the author? Miss Alabi, what's the name of the author? What's the name of the author? Arnold Nobel. What's the name of the author? And what the author does. Let's find out what an author does. Yes, Mr. Philip, what an author does. The author writes a story. Do we all agree with him that author writes a story?
Yeah.
All right, so let's delve in. This is a fiction, and it's a fiction because sometimes in the story, the things that are happening in the story and with the characters are not real. They're just make-believe. All right, so let's go on. This part of the story is called The Corner. So who's going to read for us? Who want to read for us? All right, Miss Moore, start reading.
Frog and Toad were caught in the rain. They ran to Frog's house. I am all wet, said Toad. The day is spoiled. Have some tea and cake, said Frog. The rain will stop if you stand near the stove. Your clothes will soon be dry.
as we said before, we're reading the story to find out some cause and some effect, why things are happening in the story. So that's why we're reading the story, to find out why things are happening in the story. And as we said before in our previous lesson, that cause happens first. Cause happens first. And as a result, because of cause, we have what you call an effect. And the effect happens after. The effect happens after. So we just read the part that says Todd and Toad were caught in the rain. Has anybody noticed any cause and effect when we read those 2 pages? Have you noticed any cause and effect? Have you noticed that something happened because of something else? I see Miss Homestead, yes?
They were wet in the rain because when they went outside, they got wet in the rain.
So who got wet in the rain?
Toad and Frog.
Toad and Frog got wet in the rain. So let's bear that in mind. She said Frog and Toad got wet in the rain. Did that happen first or did that happen after? What happened first? What happened first? Think about it. Why they got wet? Because
They were in the rain.
it was raining. So we can actually write that on the board. And so we can quickly say, what is the cause? What happened first? We can say it was raining. So this is what happened first. And then because it was raining, what happened to Toad and Frog?
They got wet.
So we can say the effect was that Frog and Toad got
Wet.
So we can see that we have just recognized our first cause and effect in the story. All right, so Jada, we just recognized our first cause and effect. Jada, why did Todd, Frog, and Toad get wet? Why you think Frog and Toad got wet? What was happening outside? Oh, unmute yourself. I'm sorry. Unmute yourself. It was?
The rain.
It was raining. Yes, it was raining. So let us continue to read. And as we continue to read, we can look for some more cause and effect. So let's go to page 44 and we are going to read. Can I ask Jameer to read for us on page 45?
When I was a small, not much bigger than a pollywog
Said.
frog, my father said to me, son, this is a cold, gray day, but spring is just around the corner.
Okay, so quickly, because now they got wet, they were inside, and as Hayden just read, she said, I will tell you a story while we're waiting. But prior to that, he said it was raining, and then what happened? What was the result? They got wet. So now we're seeing that now, because they're wet, they're inside of the house, and who is going to tell the story? Who's telling the story about his father? Yes, Miss Umstead? Toad. Toad is, or is it Frog? Is it Frog? Yes, Frog. Frog is telling the story about what his father said to him. So, who are the characters in the story? Frog and Toad. So let's turn over. Let's turn over. And I am going to read this section for you. I wanted to come. I went out to find a corner. I walked down a path in the woods. until I came to a corner. I went around the corner to see if spring was on the other side. And it was. So, was spring around the corner? Let's read the other part together. And was it? Asked Toad. No, said Frog. They are only pine tree, 3 pebbles, and some dry grass. So on that page it's telling us what Frog is looking for. What is Frog looking for? Yes, Miss Moore?
Spring.
Frog is looking for spring. And why is he looking for spring, Miss Dawn Tyson? Why is Frog looking for spring?
Because
Remember in the beginning of the story, who told him to look for spring?
his father.
His father. That's why he was looking for spring, because his father told him to look for spring. All right, let's continue. So, can somebody continue to read for me? Okay, go ahead, Miss Ida Retty.
I walked in
Tell the class what page you're on now.
the 48.
48. Read. Okay, read on. Yeah.
I walked in the
I walked in the meadow. Uh-huh.
soon I came to the other corner. I went around the corner to
So in that corner, as Miss said just now, Frog came there and he only found the tree stump. Did he find spring? No. He said, I walked to the river until I came to the corner. I went around the corner to look for spring. Was it there? No. The spring wasn't there. And then it started to what? It started to rain. And it started to rain, and what he did? So let's think about it now, because now it seems like it's raining a lot. So here again, it started to rain. It started to rain. That's after he started to tell his story. And then what Toad had to do? Toad had to do what? Huh? He went back. Yes, it started to rain, and Toad, he went back home. Now there's the other part that says there, he went around several corners, and then in the other part it says he went to a corner. He went to a corner, they said, and what you think he found there? Because Frog looked around the corner. What do you think happened? What was the effect? Because he looked around the corner, what did he find? Huh? What are some of the things that he found around the corner? Can we put our hands up when we answer the question, please? What did he find around the corner, Mr. Situ?
A stump.
He found a stump. Now, remember what he was looking for. What was he looking for?
Spring.
So when he went around the corner, what he found?
A stump.
He found spring, right? Because that's what he was looking for. So he went around the corner and he found spring. Now who can tell me what are the signs of spring? How do you know that it is spring? What are some of the things that would tell you that it is spring? Yes?
It's sunny.
It is sunny. Uh-huh. What else? So those were the result of spring. All right? So we can put another cause here. We can say because it was spring, what were some of the results? We can say sunny. What else you notice there in that section? Yes?
There's a garden.
There's a garden, and what the garden had? Flowers. Okay, so this is what we are going to do now. We are going to continue to read the story, and then you are going to look for more cause and effect. And I want you to remember something. I want you to remember that sometimes one cause, you would have more than one effects because of one cause. Let's take for instance, somebody threw down a banana skin and somebody slipped on the banana. Okay, let's take for instance, Bethany is in the lunchroom and she has her tray with her lunch and she slipped and she fell. What are some of the things that can happen because Bethany slipped and fell? What are some of the things can happen? If you know the answer, put your hands up. Yes. She can get hurt. So that would be a what? An effect. The cause is that she fell. And the effect would be that she can get hurt. What are some other things that can happen?
My lunch could spill.
Her lunch could spill. Very good. What another thing that can happen?
She could accidentally drop her tray.
Well, she did accidentally drop her tray because she fell, right? So that's another effect. What else can happen? She can get She can get injured. Maybe she can cut her knee. Yes, Kevon?
She would get hurt if the tray fell on her head.
She would get hurt. So what we're actually saying is that one cause can lead to several effects. So what I want you to do now, as you read the story, I want you to look for a cause that can lead to several effects. All right? So that's what we're going to do this afternoon. We're going to continue to read the story, and we are going to look for cause and effect that can arise. We're going to look for more effects. So as I said before, one cause can lead to what? Several effects. So I want you to remember that when you recognize cause and effect, when you recognize that relationship in the story, you get to understand the story better. Like frog, right? Frog and toad. The first thing we said, it was raining, and the effect was they got wet. Then he went out again looking for spring, and what happened? It started to rain again, and then what happened? He went back home. So we are going to continue to read, and I am going to come around, and then you're going to let me know, or we can discuss it together. What are some other cause and effect relationship that you see in that story? Frog and toad all year. All right? Everybody ready to continue reading?
Yeah!
All right. So Jada, this is what we're going to do. We're going to continue reading the story, and we are going to look for some more cause and effect in the story. All right? So you remember what cause and effect is. Because something happened, something else happened after. And remember what happens first. Jada, what happened first? Cause or effect? Which one happens first?
Cause.
We said the cause happened first. And Jada, do you think you can give the class an example of cause and effect before we go into the reading the other parts? Can you give the class an example of something that happened first and then there's effect that happened after? Can you share your scenario with the class for us? Can you think about something that you did, and because you did that, something else happened? Or you want to share it after we finish reading? You want to share that part after we finish reading?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So we are going to share that. So we are going to now continue to read, and then we are going to write some more cause and effect.